Power Screen Specialist Showcase has begun.
This was terrible. That just sounds like I'm done.
I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts. This is so funny.
The following is a fan-off production.
They call me Alice in Wonderland. They try to lure me with a man. Go, oh, what do you know? Is that a rabbit hole? Oh, I gotta see where it goes. So off with my head, fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart, fall apart.
What's up, all you stars and studs? This is former WWE Diva and current First Lady of Ring of Honor, Maria Kanellis, and I am here joined by my co-host, Ring of Honor superstar, Michael Bennett.
Hello.
And I also have a very, very special guest and friend, Brian from Benchwarmers Trading Cards. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you for having me.
How long have we known each other now? A long time. I think
it's probably over 5 years. Yeah.
5 years. And
at least,
I have to say that you are one of the most professional people I've ever worked with.
Oh, thank you. I like to hear comments like that. I'd like to hear that I'm good looking, but I'll take professional.
Well, Mike will always tell you that you're good looking.
That's my job.
Yeah.
He compliments the men. I compliment the ladies.
No.
So what have you been up to? What is your new series of trading cards?
Actually, you didn't even know this, but the latest release that I just shipped, you're on the box.
Oh, fantastic!
Look at that.
It's called Treasure Chest, and anyone who wants to see it can go to eBay and search Benchwarmer Treasure Chest box. And it's actually a product that I was working on for like many years, because what it is like, you know how like if I sent you cards to sign, and let's say you left the country on a job, and because you're likewise, you're one of the most professional models I've ever worked with. But let's not be negative. Let's say that there was a legitimate reason why a girl couldn't get her cards back in time. So like over the years, I've saved all those cards, like that are numbered, the rare ones to 10, and then I put them all into this product called Treasure Chest. So like it was like a 5-year work in progress actually. And then I also added new content. So I was like really excited because it was actually good money that I needed to like turn into cash, and the collectors loved it because it was literally like a treasure chest. Every box had some surprise in it. So, like, they didn't know that, like, might have been released in 2010 or 2011. And I'm just really excited on it. And I made the box a long time ago, actually, and you were on the box. It's a great photo of you. You love the photo.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to see it.
It's actually very coincidental it's coincidental that I'm talking to you, and we just shipped it in late January, yeah.
It's very kismet. So who are the models that people might find in the treasure chest?
Well, we've got over 800 models now since we started in 2002. And each series has about anywhere from 60 to 90 new girls. Like, I'm about to send you cards to sign for a product called Eclectic and another product called Gold. And we're doing a soccer series again. And we're doing a schoolgirl series. But, the schoolgirl series is the most popular. Go figure. Guys love that book. Huh?
I believe that one.
Guys really love that school. And, but the funny thing about it is that they're not necessarily the most risque shots. They're, because sometimes the skirts are long.
Yeah.
It's all about the imagination, I think.
Exactly. Okay, so you get it. I didn't actually get that. A friend of mine told me to do that many years ago, and it was like, it's our most popular product. He said, you got to do a whole product around a schoolgirl theme, classy, tasteful, but called Hot for Teacher. I'm like, are you sure it's not Hot for the Teacher? And it's like, no, Google it. It's Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
There's no
it's like the song.
It's exactly like the song.
Who are the most popular models that you've had? Who sells the best?
well, you're up there. If I was going to just say, there's no one girl that sells the best because everyone has fans. Obviously, Carmen Electra's cards are hot. Any of the WWE divas, such as yourself or Christy or Candice or Tori, any of those are always going to be popular because there's a built-in fan base. And also, of course, some of the bigger playmates, like the latest Playmate of the Year, Raquel Pomplin, is in Benchwoman now, and her cards are very popular. And then sometimes you just never know when a girl's cards are going to just get really popular. Like Sarah Underwood's cards are extremely popular, but it's not because of Playboy, it's because she was a host on G4, the Gamers Network. So I found that very fascinating because, because of the internet, I guess guys, if they just Google her name, her cards might come up on eBay, and then people who don't even know about Benchwoman start bidding on them. So it's a tough business because, it's an old school product, but I love it. I mean, I basically dedicated my life to it. You guys have been over here to my office. And I love it. It really is the American dream personified. I'm a middle class kid, and I was a collector my whole life, and I did this thing, and it's actually starting to do really well. We're working on the TV show, like I told you. We've been talking about a TV show since we've met, and I really think I got a good chance. I don't want to be cocky about it.
But I think your story is incredible, and it's almost like you collect extremely attractive women, and a lot of them are extremely business mind women, and they get involved in the Benchwarmer cards, and maybe they'll get involved in Playboy, or they'll become lingerie models or whatever. But I find your life so incredibly interesting because you truly have the men's or male's American dream. Because what is that like to be surrounded by so many attractive women?
It's seemingly the dream. It's not necessarily. It also can be very lonely. I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain about that. It's like, I don't know really the context of where you're going with this, but I have a lot of beautiful women that are in my life, platonic friends. I've dated girls, but it's not so easy. The thing is, the truth is, here's the thing. Like, we were just talking about this yesterday. If I went out every night and really tried to enjoy the life, Benchwoman would go out of business. So it's kind of like a catch-20. You know what I'm saying? It's like it really is. Like any business is hard. Like this pizza place down the street that we love. We called. My assistant's been calling for 2 days. Oh my God, their phone's disconnected, and we're so distraught that we rode by. And this is totally irrelevant, but it's not. It's all boarded up and shut down on Sunset Boulevard. And supposedly a new place is coming soon. But my point is that business is hard, any business. And, this didn't just take off like my background is collectibles, selling like hot collectibles, like Beanie Babies. You're from Illinois, so you know the Thai Beanie Baby. That's how I actually made the money to fund Benchwoman. I don't come from money. My father was a school teacher. So, I was always an entrepreneur in collectibles. And the real dream, believe it or not, was not the girls. It was creating my own collectible and having people like really just care about what I was doing.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
But I think that's what makes you so interesting, is it's not about that lifestyle. And that's what I wanted you to say, is the fact that it's not that. It's a very, very tough business that you have worked incredibly hard at in order to get to where you are. And you've given so many girls this tremendous opportunity to be a part of it because of your professionalism. And I know that you have somewhere to be later on this evening, so I'm not going to keep you for too long. But I just want
that's okay. I really appreciate the kind words, Maria. Thank you so much. No, but the thing is about, listen, I knew when I started this in 2002, like, listen, I'm a straight male. I love beautiful women. But like you said, listen, I just knew that I've seen so many businesses that have been set up just for men to meet women, like agencies, and they never work. It's like my philosophy was just do it right, and that'll come. If a woman likes you, she likes you. If she doesn't, and I really believe that. Like, you can't be misleading about it. Like, the goal is to create a collectible. And like, I've got bitterness in me about the fact that I can't sell these cards in Walmart and Target. They're still living in the 19th century. They feel that meanwhile the world has totally changed, and like a little kid can get porn on his phone, on his device. When I was a kid, we had a porno magazine buried in the woods that like the whole neighborhood shared. I was like, now, you're like, my cards are so, in the last 10 years, benchwarmer cards, they're so tame by comparison to what's out there. And I've never felt the need to, like, turn them to nudity. I mean, it's not even about that,
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're beautiful cards. They're so very well made. Please tell everybody where they can find your cards, where they can follow you on Twitter, so everybody can become a part of this.
Okay, thank you. My personal Twitter handle is @Mr. Benchwarmer. The website is benchwarmer.com. And actually, the best place to buy is from our dealers on eBay, because we don't sell direct. We have a dealer network, and most of those, it's all random. So, we don't just sell a Maria Kanellis card. We sell a box of cards with the chance to get a Maria Kanellis and a Tori Wilson and a Christy Hemme. So our dealers buy, and that's why I just want to support our dealers that are loyal. They're the ones buying the cases, breaking them down. They're, addicted, and they put the singles on eBay. So the best thing to do is just to go to eBay. If you want one of Maria's cards, just search Benchwarmer Maria Kanellis, and you'll see them all right there.
Well, thank you so much, and enjoy your evening. And I miss LA so much. I can't wait to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me know when you guys are coming back.
Okay,
Absolutely.
definitely. Bye.
Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
I think he's gone.
I think he's living the dream.
He is living the dream, but it's like he said. I mean, I've seen this man literally turn down individuals to go out or to party so he can get these things done. It's incredible how hard he works, and his work ethic is just amazing. And that's why I wanted to have him on, because, you could look at it from the outside and go, oh, he's living the dream, and he's, with all these beautiful women and all this stuff. But at the same time, he is a person that has to juggle a lot of different personalities.
But it's not about that. I mean, I've sat in with you for when you guys are all there signing the cards, and it's like he's surrounded by you and all these gorgeous women, and he's literally focused on, okay, who signed what and when's it done? Okay, now you have to sign this, and it's not like, I don't think I've ever the entire time I haven't known him that long, but from when I've seen him, I don't think I've ever seen him hit on or flirt with anyone who he's working with.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. It's a very well done business. It's been around for a long time. I mean, they've had girls from Playmates. They've had Brandy Roderick from the Playmate Brandy Roderick. They've had Tracy Bigham, who she was on Baywatch. I mean, they've had everybody, Christy Hemme and
Maria Kanellis.
And I've done it, and apparently I've made the box. Now
You're on the box.
Made it to the big time.
Maria Kanellis' box. I think it's kind of sucks though that he's having such a hard time breaking through to Target and Walmart. I've seen his cards, and they're all tastefully done, and you can go to Walmart or Target and you can get a car magazine that has girls dressed worse, or for crying out loud, you can go to Walmart and buy a AR-15 or a semi-automatic fucking rifle or a 9mm handgun, but you can't get cards with women in their bikinis. What the fuck?
I don't know. This is a very strange country that we live in.
Seriously, it's ridiculous. Our country is just ass backwards sometimes. We can hand out guns galore, but God forbid we see a little skin.
And I've worked with him. I believe in what he does. I think that it's a great way of keeping the history of beautiful women. I mean, he has so many that he's had in his different cards. So it's just incredible to see women that I used to do Hawaiian Tropics with on a Benchwarmer card. And that was 10 years ago, and it's incredible.
And he has the coolest little apartment loft in. Where is it? It's not Beverly Hills, but it's Los Angeles, right?
Uh-huh.
It's
in
just
Hollywood.
It's in Hollywood, and it's it's a penthouse, and it's gorgeous, and it's filled with cards full of beautiful women and action
Do you
figures.
like to live there?
The place is just amazing, and it just overlooks the Hollywood Hills. It's such a cool place. I remember just going there with you, and like you were signing, and I would just walk out on the balcony and soak it all in. It's a really fun place. But he's such a great guy, and he's such a hard worker. And I didn't know that I didn't know he came from nothing, or not nothing, but he didn't come from money.
Class. He came from a middle class background. He's told me his story about how he got there. And it was all about collectibles. It was all about selling Beanie Babies at first, and it went from Beanie Babies to beautiful women. You know, it's amazing.
The bees.
And I mean, I wanted a good, fun-loving story today because it's a sad day in wrestling, especially, you know, especially this one for some reason for me hits me extremely hard. Big Daddy V or Mabel or Viscera or Nelson Frazier has passed away, and it was from a heart attack. And I never know what to say when something like this happens because really words don't do it justice at all. They don't, and I want to say something, but I never know what to say. And today was just a really tough day for me. And I can only imagine what his family and especially his close friends are going through.
Well, he was so young. I think that's it always hits especially hard when you're young or you're not, you know, an older person where it's just unexpected and out of the blue. And I think it hits a lot of people hard in wrestling too because there is a lot of, I would say 90% of wrestling is filled with the scum of the universe. And when you finally, there's 10% that are true and honest and loving and they're just good family men, good, you know, just good men. And he was definitely one of them. Like, I don't think I've literally since last night, I don't think I've read or heard or listened to a bad comment about Vis. It's just, I think it hits a lot of people home. I mean, I had only met him, 2-3 years ago when you introduced us. And, I mean, I tell the quick story. I told it on Facebook, but you introduced us to, I think it was an FWE show in New York, and he was always doing those. And you introduced me to him, and he was very open and very, you know, heartwarming towards me, and you know, very polite and respectful towards me. But he was very firm in the fact that when I first met him, he looked at me and said, "Okay, so you're the man." And I was like, yeah. He goes, "Maria's one of the good ones. We like her. So you better be good to her." And I was like, "I will, sir. I promise." And before and after every show, because there's a tradition in wrestling where you go into the locker room and shake people's hands, and then when you leave, you shake their hands. And so I would always make it a point to shake Big Vis's hand. And every show, I think I probably did maybe 5 or 6 more shows with him from there. In every single show, it was, "She's one of the good ones. You take care of her. I saw her. I was in WWE with her. We watched out for her. I'll watch out for her now. You take care of her. You take care of her." And that was up until, I think, the very last show I worked with him where I went to say bye. And, you know, I had kind of formed a relationship with him where we would talk and stuff like that. There was actually a point in time when he was actually trying to get me booked over in Japan and stuff like this. So, you know, I had formed a very nice relationship with him. And after the show, the last time I saw him, because it's kind of ironic that it was the last time I saw him, I shook his hand and he goes, "You know what? I can tell you're one of the good ones too. You'll take good care of her." So it was almost like he gave me his blessing, so to speak, that which meant a lot to me because I had the utmost respect for him, and I wanted to prove to him that I was, you know, I would take good care of you and I was one of the good ones, and it was just nice to get his bless. But that's the kind of person he was, and he was just he just had this calming personality about him that was just really, really nice. And he was a giant human being, like massive. I don't think, if you had never met this guy, I don't think you have no idea how big. I remember the first time I met him, I was like, you are a massive human being. Like he is giant. And, but he was so kind and such a sweet man. So I think it's a huge loss. And you can just see that in all the things you're reading, everything you hear and read. It's just, when he touched people, it was in a positive light.
He gave the best hugs in the world, I have to say. It was like you were just engulfed by
I don't know. You're that size. You either kill someone or you're a gentle giant with hugs. So
and he was definitely a gentle giant. And I think he will be very severely missed for a long time. So
I agree.
But I think tonight, I do have another note.
More notes.
Because
these aren't in my notes. You didn't send me these. I don't know.
No,
are you going off script?
I'm going off script.
Are we going off topic here?
Yeah, a bit, because
no.
I'm feeling a little I'm feeling a lot down today, and something really struck me today, and that was the fact that like I was names. I'm not going to name names. And they said to me,
names.
No, I'm not going to do that. The interviewer said to me, and mind you, he listens to this show, so I hope he hears this. He asked me, how does Snoop Dogg taste? And I think that is one of the crassest things that I've ever been asked in an interview. It just was distasteful and rude. And I feel like sometimes people forget that you're human when they say these things. Did I lose Mike? Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, all right.
You're going off topic. These aren't in my notes. So.
I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm having one of those days where you like see people and you want to tell everybody that you love them and you want to protect people and you want to like, it's one of those days that make you think about your life and where you're at. And when this guy said that to me, I felt so disrespected. I'm a human being. Like I'm an actress. I have had television relationships that we shook hands once before we worked together, and then we did a scene in the ring, and then that was the end of it. And Snoop was great to me. He was wonderful, but he also has a life and a wife and kids and a family. And so I like to keep things extremely professional, and to ask me a question like that just goes beyond that professional boundary and into just silly and rude. And so, when you are asking questions in an interview, be cognizant that these are human beings that you are talking to, and not some toy. I'm not a toy. I'm a woman with strong beliefs and strong values, and I just think that even though I'm a female in wrestling, it doesn't make me a pawn to be manipulated. And so
I always find it funny what people grasp onto in careers. Yeah. Like you've literally done so much in your career, and like this person who's obviously a fan, I'm a huge Kid Rock fan, and if I got the opportunity to interview Kid Rock, my first question wouldn't be like, "Oh, so what's it like banging Pamela Anderson?" Like, what? I don't understand what it is that people grasp. Maybe it's just the shock value. Maybe there's so many people out there who are just desperate to be Howard Stern, or like there's one Howard Stern. You're not going to be Howard Stern. Most of the time when Howard Stern does something, he does it and it sounds funny. When other people do it, you just sound like an asshole. Like I have no desire to ever come on this podcast, and I don't know. I think it's just the society we live in where people are really negative towards other people.
And we talked about this yesterday, how we wanted to require every person that interviews us to ask us 2 positive questions for every negative question. And I feel like the guy that interviewed me today could not have done it. There was no way. I mean, he asked me straight out, if you got my bookings for me. Like I can't do it myself.
I told him, I slipped him that question.
Like I can't handle it myself because I'm a poor, pathetic female that just happens to be 32 years old and has already been in this business for 10 years. But hey, we're just going to throw that aside and we're just going to call you a pathetic female that has to ask her man to get her bookings. I find it incredibly condescending when people ask me things such as that. I've survived this business by being tenacious and being extremely aggressive and taking care of myself. I love my fiance, but that does
there's a but?
That does not mean I bow down to him like he's some sort of god and I worship the ground that he walks on and beg for mercy if I do something wrong.
You beg for bookings.
I beg for bookings, yes. But I
snap my fingers and indie promoters from around the world come calling. And they say, Mr. Bennett, how can we book you and Mrs. Kanellis? We would really like to. And I'm like, well, I'm handling all our bookings now, so.
Isn't that crazy?
I think it's strange. I think the question about Snoop Dogg is just weird. It
was the last question too.
How does that all the things you've done in your career, like being in the ring and kissing Snoop Dogg, that doesn't even come to my mind when I think of the stuff you did. Why would it? I don't understand that.
I would think of when I was eating pie and I'm in the ring with The Rock. Was it real pie when you were in the ring with The Rock? What was it like working with The Rock? Or was it really beer when Stone Cold Steve Austin sprayed you with that? Or was that really chocolate milk when Eugene dumped it on your head? That stuff is memorable. That stuff is wrestling. Me kissing Snoop Dogg, yes, it happened at WrestleMania. But I also had a match that night. Can I just say there was a match that went along with that?
You just came to the ring and you kissed Snoop Dogg, and it tasted like weed.
And that's what they want me to say.
Of course. That's why I said it. They know the answer to it. They ask questions just because they want to be like, look what I said. Look what I got, Maria. I'm funny.
But I've already said that in an interview. Somebody asked me one time, what was it like kissing Snoop Dogg? Which was a perfectly acceptable question. Asking what he tastes like is gross. What was it like kissing Snoop Dogg? And then I said, I think I got high off of it. And that's funny. But asking, what did Snoop Dogg taste like? Mind you could have been in the car with me. Do the people not consider that fact of, you possibly could have been in the car with me as I'm doing this interview or been sitting next to me on the couch? I have a fiance. And then he asked me, I had dated 100 wrestlers or something. What does your father think about you dating these wrestlers? What? I'm 18 years old. What? No, I'm not 18. I'm 32. I've dated 2 wrestlers in my entire life in the course of 10 years in being in wrestling. What is that?
Hey, what does your dad think of you just being passed around the locker room? Why didn't you just phrase it that way?
Why did he say that? Why didn't he say it like that? Because I think that would have been more honest for him to ask. And then I would have hung up on him because that's just disrespectful and rude. But, for heaven's sakes, have a little bit of respect when you talk to me on the phone and I'm giving you an interview, especially especially because the whole point of it was to talk about HonorCon this weekend for Ring of Honor, which is a free show. It's going from 1 until 4. It's a convention. You can come and get autographs, and you can get involved in the arm wrestling competition and all of these wonderful things that I was trying to talk about. And what can he think of? What was it like kissing Snoop Dogg?
That was the best.
Taste like what? No, it's a free event we're doing in Philly. We're going to be at the National Armory. Like, hello, there's fun things to talk about. But no, I'm talking about Snoop Dogg's taste.
Lovely.
You have a big weekend at Ring of Honor.
I do. I have a wonderful weekend of wrestling and joy and fans booing me. I wrestled Jay Briscoe on Friday night. Me and the so self-proclaimed real world champion, and I plan on beating him. That's my plan.
You will beat him.
I'm going to. And I will take his real world championship title and be Michael Bennett title. That's my plan. What? Yeah. Is that funny to you? You don't think I can?
I know you can. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I'm just waiting to push you over the edge enough to where you beat someone up really bad.
Can I tell you, this is completely off topic, but we really have no structure on this show anyways. So
we have structure.
We don't. We have structure as like, a tornado has structure. There's no structure. We're controlled chaos, as I like to call it.
A tornado goes round and round and round and round. You do not see them going around in a square shape.
Yeah, you can tell me where a tornado is going to end up?
No, but I can tell you that it's going to go round and round and round, just like this show.
But where's it going to go? That's the question. It has no path. It has no structure. See?
But go with your topic.
No, never mind. You just like to interrupt. I'll let you tell me what you want to talk about. I got nothing to talk about.
I'm really interested in hearing about this, though. Please tell me.
Okay, what's going to send me over the edge, and again, this was completely off topic, but it's this stupid fucking stand your ground law that has been letting racist murderers off twice now in Florida. Once was George Zimmerman, and now I don't even like to say his name. I think his name's Michael Dunn. He's a piece of shit that shot an innocent 17-year-old African-American boy. Why? Because the African-American boy was playing rap music, and this racist piece of shit does not like rap music. So he pumped his gun into this kid's car, and he killed him. And now he didn't get off. He is going to prison, but the great folks of Florida have done it again, and this man was not convicted of murder. This man was convicted of attempted murder for the other people in the car, but because of stand your ground, he was not convicted of murder because apparently he was standing his ground. Because apparently he pulled into a gas station, and so didn't this young man and his friends, and the young man was playing loud rap music. Yes, can that be annoying? Of course it can, but it is a free country, and if you don't like the loud rap music, don't fucking listen to it. It doesn't mean give you the right to pull out a gun and shoot someone for it. So apparently he told the kid, turn your music down, to which the group of kids obliged. They turned their music down. And then they said to themselves, like they should have, and I would have, fuck this piece of shit. This is a free country. I'm going to turn my music back up, and if he has a problem with it, he can leave. So they turned it back up. They got into an altercation. The kid, the African-American kid, went back into his car, He's now in his car, to which Michael Dunn, this racist asshole, said to himself, oh, I think he's getting a gun. No, you asshole, just because you and the gun-loving pieces of shit in this country all think everybody needs to own a gun doesn't mean that this kid had a gun. So Michael Dunn, took his gun out and proceeded to shoot into this kid's car. Not only did he shoot into the car, but you can't tell me you're standing your ground when the car's fucking driving away. And as the car's driving away, he proceeds to pump more rounds into this fucking car. I'm sorry. You're not standing your ground. You are committing murder. There is nothing about standing your ground in this. Why? This country baffles me. We're full of a bunch of morons. That's really all gun-loving morons who are like, oh, I have a gun, so that means I can. But basically what this law does, and it's worked for George Zimmerman, and it's kind of worked for Michael Dunn, is what they can say is, oh, I'm a racist. I'm going to carry my gun around and hope to God someone of a different culture or a different ethnicity says something to me that I find offensive or makes any kind of a gesture towards me that could be perceived as a violent act. And then I can pull out my gun and shoot this person because I don't like the color of his skin or where he is from. That's all it's for. George Zimmerman did it because he's a racist asshole. Michael Dunn did it because he's a racist, murdering asshole. But yet these guys don't get convicted of that. But I have there is a great story of a Florida woman who tried to use the stand your ground law as her defense, and she did not get it. She was convicted of 20 years in prison, and guess what? She did not have a penis, and she was not the color white. So that's why she went to prison, because Florida, you are racist.
Wow. Really?
Really. I shit you not.
That is crazy.
That's the story. It's ridiculous. We talk about, well, the gun's not the problem. Yeah, the gun's the problem because we're giving in to these racists. So if someone met Michael Dunn, they would probably say, oh, you know what? Yeah, he's someone that deserves a gun. If they met George Zimmerman, they would probably be like, you know what? He's someone that deserves a gun. They're not mentally challenged. They don't have this. They don't have that. They're not going to go shoot up a movie theater or a school, or they're not going to go shoot up a crowded area. But we're giving these racist assholes guns, and we have a gun epidemic in this country. I believe we have the right to own guns, but we have a gun epidemic. There is a serious gun problem. We have people who live off their guns. Like they literally they live and breathe about a weapon that is specifically designed to murder someone. If that is your life, then that is pathetic. If your gun is your life, you are pathetic. I'm sorry. I don't believe we should take guns away, but I think we seriously need to reevaluate how we look at things. Because the fact that these 17-year-old kids, because these elderly, Napoleon complex, small penis pieces of shit have nothing better to do with their time than carry around their guns and kill these kids because they are racist. These kids are dying at such a young age. It's nice that Michael Dunn and George Zimmerman get to live out their lives because these kids cannot.
Whoa, dude.
It's ridiculous. It pisses me off.
I need a rant button whenever you go off on these rants. I need like a button that I can press that is a ranting button.
I'm sorry. I had no intention of ranting, but the more I talk about it, it drives me up a wall. Like that. And people can sit here and say,
what can people do about this? I mean, I'm all about solutions today. People can vote for different senators.
Unfortunately, we have a government full of pussies who won't do anything about it. We have a government that is run by the gun lobbyists, a government that's run by the NRA, people that believe that there's absolutely nothing wrong with what's going on now. If the NRA can sit there and say there's nothing wrong with – do you know how many school shootings there's been since Newtown? There's been over 30 more school shootings since Newtown happened. There is a gun problem. And unfortunately, I love President Obama. I think he's great. But when it came to this issue, he promised something would happen after Newtown. He almost guaranteed it. And unfortunately, just like every other president that has come before him, they submitted to the NRA. They submitted to the gun lobbyists because for whatever reason, we can't say no to them. We can't say, oh, no, we're not going to have high-powered assault rifles or we can't have expanding in background checks. God forbid that, like I said, it's you can go into Walmart and buy a gun, but you want to see a scantily clad woman and, oh God, no, that's bad for our culture. Really? A naked woman is bad for our culture, but shooting these poor innocent kids, that's okay? That's what our country has come to? And literally, it is easier in this country to get your hands on a gun than it is to adopt some sort of an animal, cat, dog, what, they go through more of a background check for you to adopt a fucking cat or a dog than they do to hand you a weapon that is designed to kill mass amounts of people.
They visited my
at one time.
house. When I adopted Zeus, they visited my house to make sure my house was acceptable for them to be, for Zeus to be able to come home with me.
Ridiculous.
It's wild. That is just craziness to me. I mean,
why can't we do that with guns?
Think that,
why?
I think that right now is a very conflicted time in our culture. It's so weird. It's like we have this aging society. We have so many people that are on that lower half or end half of their life or whatever you want to call it, and they're still running things. But then you have this younger half, this group that's, you know, marching and leading the charge for change, and it's just going to take a while to get there, and it's sad because as it's taking a long time to get there, people are dying. It's sad. But I think that what people can do is they can vote, and they can go to their representatives, and they can go to the town meetings and discuss these things, because that's where everything starts. It starts small, and it grows from there. I watched Bowling for Columbine, and one thing that it talked about is we are in a scared society. Everybody's afraid of everybody else. And that's really why. Sad. And I think that that's the biggest problem in this country is we are all afraid. We're living scared. We're scared of where our next meal's coming from. We're scared of people that aren't the same color as us. We're afraid of this. We're afraid of that. But if we take away that fear and start to love one another and to accept that people have differences of opinions and flaws, then that is when we're going to be able to rise above all of this craziness and really start to make a change. And so you might have your soapbox that you can jump on, but my soapbox for the day is to be more accepting of people and to understand that everybody has their opinions, and we might not always know or understand them, but if we accept one another and accept love rather than hate, then hopefully things can change for the better. Yes?
Not as long as they're giving guns to these assholes.
I know that, and I know it's terrible, and it shouldn't happen.
Over 20 children under the age of 8 died in Newtown.
I know.
Let that soak in for a second. Under the age of 8. They got to live 8 years maximum of their life. Some of them could have lived to 100. Some of them maybe 40 or 50 or 60 or 70. But they lived 8 years of their lives because this kid was allowed to have a gun, because his mom was allowed to have a gun. Those kids died because those kids died so so-and-so or so-and-so can tout on their stupid fucking Facebook, look at my AR-15. That's America for you. That's America for you. These 8-year-old kids lost their lives. And so these 8-year-old kids, let that sink in again, lost their lives so we can have the freedom of a gun, really? And guess what was done about it? Nothing. Not one change to gun laws. Not one extended background checks. Not one limit on what kind of weapon you can own. Not one. No one's saying we want to take away your gun. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's something that needs to change. And you can't sit here and say we could just give guns to everyone, just not the criminals. Yeah, that's really going to work? Not one thing changed when over 20 little children lost their lives. That's pathetic. This country's pathetic.
It is pathetic, and I completely agree with you. And I think about those things every day, and every time I hear about a shooting at a school, I think it's the worst thing ever.
No, but it's gotten to the point where we go, oh, here we go again.
It's terrible.
It's not rare. I remember when Columbine happened because I was in school when I remember it vividly because it didn't happen. But we've become such a gun-hungry culture that it happens all the time. Why is it so easy to get a gun? And don't give me, it's one of our, it's a right. It's a right as an American. Really?
You know who I'd like to bring on to talk to you about these things and about schools specifically?
Oh.
The person officiating our wedding.
BK Jordan?
Uh-huh.
BK Jordan is wonderful.
I would love to bring him on. He is a school teacher, and he is incredible. And I think that we should bring him on to discuss gun laws and to discuss the school system and to really pick his brain about all of this stuff because he is extremely involved in all things to do with school.
Well, I will do my best to try to get him on.
I would appreciate that. So, guess who I have coming on next week?
Who?
David Gear.
Oh.
Producer from Army of the Damned. And he also is a part of Woodhaven Productions. And he's an incredible guy. And he's managed people on some of Tommy Dreamer's shows. So I'm thinking that bringing him on next week to talk about the connection between wrestling and film will be an incredible thing to do next week.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun.
You know what else people should do?
What?
They should buy our T-shirts.
Oh, really?
They should. You know where they should buy the T-shirts?
Tell me.
ProWrestlingTees.com.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to know why?
Tell me why.
Because they have over 800 T-shirts available from indie stars to WWE legends that you can now buy. That the T-shirts are created and sold by your favorite professional wrestlers at ProWrestlingTees.com. If you're looking for something a little more fun, be sure to check out BarbershopWindow.com for some of the greatest nostalgic and humorous wrestling tees available on the internet.
Nice. Sound like you were singing.
You know who else I talked to today?
Oh, I'm terrible at this game. I haven't guessed one thing correctly.
I talked to Lance.
Lance Bass?
No.
Oh. Lance Armstrong?
No. Isn't he in jail or something now?
What? No, why would he be in jail?
Because he did the drugs.
So? It's not like he sold them. He just did them.
Any other Lances you want to...
Lance... Lancelot? Sir Lancelot?
He's dead. Long time ago.
Oh. He'd be a good guest to get on then.
It'd be a very good guess.
He could tell us about that whole round table and...
What actually happened there.
Yeah. Slaying dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. You're going to tell me when I get it right?
I'll tell you when you get it right.
So it's not Lance Bass.
No.
I'm typing in Lance on my computer right now. Lance Briggs.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's a football player.
Oh, good.
He's a football player for the Bears. You don't know who he is? My goodness.
My Bears sucked, okay? They sucked.
Lame.
I forgot all of their names because of it.
You know Jay Cutler. He's the worst of the bunch.
I do know Jay Cutler.
What an egotistical prick he is. Let's see. Lance Moore. Who's Lance Moore?
I don't know. I'm afraid
another football player.
Oh, of course.
There's a lot of Lances. Okay, you have to tell me. I ran out.
I don't know. You might have wrestled him once or twice.
Lance. I don't know. I'm confused. Tell me.
He beat you a lot.
That's not true.
Oh, then you do know who I'm talking about.
I beat him in a 2 out of 3 series.
And who was it?
He is a far superior wrestler than I am, though. It is Lance Storm. How is my buddy Lance?
He's fantastical. He is interested about coming in being on our podcast.
That would be fantastic.
Yes. And you know who else I talked to about being on our podcast?
Oh, you want to pick up all these names you're dropping?
A little person called, a very strong person named Lisa Marie Varon.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is she going to be on?
I'm going to try.
Well, that would be nice.
You know who I've been asked a lot about getting on?
Oh, goodness. Who?
Court Bauer.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's consulting with Ring of Honor right now. He's creative director. And I've been asked a lot about having him on, so I think I need to talk to him about it.
Yeah. I think what we should do is have our fans tweet us and Facebook us and tell us who they want to have on. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be a good idea. I really do.
You think so?
Should we name it like Get On Mike and Maria?
That sounds dirty.
Have a threesome with Mike and Maria? Is that the hashtag? Hashtag have a threesome with Mike and Maria.
That's what we need trending. Hashtag have a threesome with Mike and Maria. It's trending worldwide.
Okay, so I was just asked a question on Twitter. Matt Nelson asked, got anything for a broken heart? Broken hearts, chicken soup is always good. Doesn't matter what the ailment is. Mm-hmm. But for broken hearts, you really should, you should really, what?
Time.
Time, yeah.
Time is the only thing that'll heal a broken heart.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Nothing else.
Time and just falling in love with yourself again and doing the things you love to do are always good. And then
booze.
And sometimes booze, but no driving while drinking.
No. Just sit in your basement with the lights off and some old wrestling and take a shot every time Ric Flair goes, woo!
Is that what you did?
And you will be drunk in the
Is
first...
this a personal experience?
2 minutes.
What?
Dude,
that is such a gross thing to do.
Gross? By gross, do you mean awesome?
Well, it's very similar.
Nothing cures a broken heart quite like Ric Flair versus Steamboat with a bottle of vodka.
So, Ultimate Warrior, spelled with an O, asked...
The Ultimate Warrior?
No.
Assume the controls.
Will you lend me $5,000? No. I'm paying for a wedding right now. I don't have that to just be throwing out there. What was it like traveling the world with WWE? Incredible, tough, but what?
What?
Huh?
It was incredibly tough?
It was incredible and tough.
Oh. Okay. This person said, when did you first start noticing that you loved Mike Bennett? Tell me. When did you first start noticing that you loved me?
I noticed that?
When did you notice it? Tell me. I'm just reading the question, dear.
I don't know if I ever have.
Oh, no.
That first night we went on a date. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that could happen. Yep.
You thought what could happen?
That I could love you.
Is that when you noticed you loved me?
That's when I noticed that it possibly could happen.
Was it like this emotion taking over your body? Were you like, what is going on? I'm transforming into this love monster.
This love monster that has made me soft and wimpy and...
Mm-hmm. You couldn't resist my moves.
You don't have moves.
You couldn't resist my game.
Somebody asked... I'm just ignoring you now. Someone asked what made you say what you said about the Bellas today. Life's too short.
What did you say about the Bellas today? I don't know what you said.
Yes,
Why don't you refresh?
We've talked about this all day long.
We have talked about it, but I'm coming from the mindset that I'm just tuning into this wonderful podcast that I listen to every day. Oh, and I've been busy all day and haven't had the chance to get on Twitter. Maria, what did you say about the Bellas?
I said that I was sorry if I ever said anything that hurt them, and I wish them all the best.
Okay, see? That wasn't so hard.
No, it wasn't hard. It's been one of those days where you just look at your life and you realize, you know what?
You're having a very reflective day today, I see.
I am.
It's like you're looking into a pond and seeing your reflection.
Okay.
What? Deep Thoughts by Michael Bennett.
Deep thoughts. Oh, and the other thing that the interviewer said to me is he's like, so,
we're going back to that. Okay.
What's it like not getting the attention that Stone Cold and Jericho's podcasts are getting? Who asks that?
Wow.
Negative, man. Negative.
Any other?
Horrible.
Any other? Did he just take a shit on his phone? Is that? He might as well just pooped on his phone.
What in the world? Like, come on, people! I'd like some positivity in my life and my questions. And if you're gonna interview me from now on, the rule is you better ask me some positive stuff because I'm not doing it anymore. I know that I've had some buzz lines and I've said some things, but that's it. I'm getting married this year. I'm going to school. No, thank you. I'm done with all this crap. I want good things and good things to happen to everybody. I love everybody.
Love for all.
Love for all. And with that, I think, is there anything you need to talk about? Because I think that maybe we're just going to leave it on the fact that Big Vis will be missed a lot, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to him and his family.
No, I mean, like I said, I've been working with SPV high quality supplements. They have really great stuff, so go to spvfitness.com/store and type in code word Prodigy and get 15% off. They really do have great stuff. Their protein's awesome, and it tastes good. And I just want to get that out there while I had the time to say it, because they've sent me a ton of stuff, and it's delicious. And you should go into spvfitness.com and check it out yourself. I promise I'm not lying. I am not a liar. I am a truth teller.
Well, I'm glad you're a truth teller. So next week, Davey Gear will be on. We'll be talking to him about movie stuff, wrestling stuff, old school wrestling stuff. And thank you guys for joining us.
Peace.
Off with my head, fell in love again. Off with my head, fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart. Off with my head, fell in love again. Off with my head, fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart. Fall apart.
This has been a production of fanoff.com.
And that's perfect.